War Eagle!
War Eagle!
Y'all asked me to be here because I was the basketball coach at Auburn. And now I'm just the ambassadorable at Auburn. So I hope you're still glad I'm here. All right. But I was asked to be here because I was coaching basketball. That's not the reason why I accepted the invitation. I accepted the invitation because Jimmy Rain asked me to come here and speak. Yes, sir. I wasn't in the military, but I know how to salute, right? But I really agreed to be here, even when I was coaching, and I would head back to practice because I do love my country, and I do love the state of Alabama, particularly the city of Auburn. But this is now home for me, and home is worth fighting for. And so it is an honor and privilege to visit with you and to share with you a few things about community, about teamwork. Y'all should celebrate yourself. Man, you got some great things that are going on right now. It's amazing to drive through Dothan. I used to just drive through to go to the beach. And then I drove through a little bit to do some recruiting. But to see all these cranes downtown and see all the growth, it's really encouraging. And I know that you're surely, really excited about it. So how do you know when something's really important? Because sometimes things they exist, and you kind of just take them for granted because they've been existing for so long. How do you know they're important? Let's just pretend for a second that they've never existed. So let's pretend for a second that the Chamber of Commerce in Dothan, for the last 106 years, did not exist. How would that impact the community? How would that impact education? How would that impact industrial growth? How would that impact the culture? How would that impact the young people, the people that are less fortunate? How would that impact would we have these rebuilding going on downtown? Or would we have the super site preparation? Or would have all this investment? And the answer is probably not. So I'm here to congratulate you. This should be a celebration. And the nonprofit work, the military, the government relations, all the things that the Chamber puts their hands on. We live in the greatest country in the world. We have our issues. We are far from perfect. But I do believe we really work hard to get better. I believe in democracy. I believe in capitalism. And I believe in the opportunity for all. If you work hard, if you study, you can be anything that you want to be. My job as the basketball coach at Auburn was to make sure my players understood that. Yes, there are obstacles. There are challenges. 90% of the men I coach are African American. And I've been doing this for 30 years. So you think about how it started for me back in the early 80s and where we are today. I've been in college basketball almost 50 years. And I want my players to absolutely believe that in spite of the obstacles, they are not roadblocks. That they can be anything that they want to be. They can do anything they want to do. And when people talk about my time at Auburn, they'll talk about 5 SEC championships or a couple of Final Fours. You know what I want you to talk about? The fact that in the last 11 years, we have graduated 51 student athletes, and we can raise our hands and clap on them. How important is this community to the surrounding communities? And the success of Dothan, the services that you all provide, just extend in a 60 to 100 mile radius. And so the fact that you're doing well impacts obviously so many. So I would like to congratulate Jeff Williams on his year and his service to the Chamber. And I'd like to congratulate Sam Crawford. Sam, I don't often have a hard act to follow, but that was a hard act to follow, sir. My brother, that was really, really good. But I want to tell you a story about my first day at Auburn. It doesn't really relate, but it's a cute story. March 14th, 2014, I got hired. March 15th, 2014, our women's basketball team is playing in the NIT, and I'm watching my first basketball game in the then Auburn Arena. And I'm on the other side of the bench. I'm sitting next to my wife, Brandy, and I look across the way, and I think Pat Dye's sitting over there. And he's like, you know, he's a legend, right? And I looked, it's Pat Dye. So at halftime, this gentleman gets up. He starts to walk across the floor like maybe he's coming in our direction. I said, honey, I think Pat Dye's coming over there to say hello. Well, she don't know Pat Dye from Pat Summit, so it doesn't really register. She does, but I mean, I was really excited. He walks up the stairs. He looks at me. He says, you're our new basketball coach. I said, yes, sir. He said, your name is Bruce Pearl. I said, yes, sir. He says, good luck. So, Sam, good luck. But of all the things that you said, you struck on a nerve. And that's doing something together. It's really up to y'all in this room. Y'all want to be a great community? You all want a great culture? You want a great society? You want to believe that faith and family, love of God and love of country is the way to go? Then you got to live it. People ask me all the time, Coach, what was the secret sauce at all? Like, how did you turn that program around? And maybe they thought about, well, we're playing a really attractive style, and we shoot the free ball really well, and we got big size to protect the rim. It has so little to do with that. Because when I was younger, I thought it was me. I did. Man, I thought I could motivate. I thought I could teach Helen Keller to read. I thought it was all about my system, the way we did style, and my passion, my energy. As I got a little older and I got a little bit mature in my faith, I realized it was not me at all. It was actually God through me. Everybody that can hear my voice right now, understand, it's about God through you. When our team got to the Final Four this year, it was the best team I've ever coached. The number one thing this team agreed to do was to sacrifice. I know it's not a word you usually would hear when we talk about discipline and accountability and teamwork and handling adversity and building confidence and focusing on positives and all the other things. It was sacrifice. Would each of them accept a little less and give more to the team? What does that mean for this community? Working hard and giving more to maybe those that are not as educated, not as prepared, not in the same position to be successful, but giving them that opportunity. That's what our team did. And when y'all realize that, and when players realize that when we as a team are successful, you as an individual will benefit far more than if you as an individual are successful but the team fails. You guys are only going to go as far as Dothan goes. You're only going to live as prosperously as Dothan goes. Let me tell you, they talk about, you guys follow me on Twitter every now and then, and at least I hope you do. And I'm glad that Auburn, one of the things I know that John Cohen's really excited about his new basketball coach is Stephen Pearl's not going to tweet half as much as I do. But they talk about peace through strength. It's really true. But you know what's truer? Peace through prosperity. Peace through prosperity. If you are prospering, you're going to be more philanthropic, you're going to be more generous, you're going to be kinder, you're going to be in a way better mood, things are going to be better at home, so on and so forth. And I believe it's the Chamber's responsibility, the leaders in the community, to help this community prosper, to sometimes make some sacrifices. People ask me all the time, again, what's the secret sauce? Simple. What would God have me do? When I got my players, And again, I didn't always have this, but I certainly did the last 7 or 8 years of my time at Auburn. Guys got to make decisions every single day when they're young. There's a lot more distractions when they're young compared to when we're older. What would God have you do? Oh, He wanted you to be late for class. My bad, I missed that one. Oh, He wanted you to have somebody else do your homework. Oh, He wanted you to treat a woman this way. Oh, He wanted you to be the last one to leave the bar. No. So if we're going to create a culture where we're going to be calling God on the one hand and giving God the glory and our victory and all this championship and celebration, if we're going to do that, well, then we're not going to be out there doing that stuff. We're just not. I'm not going to let them be a hypocrite. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to fall. We're going to sin. But we're going to try to do this. And when our teams begin to live that way, and you get young people start doing that, people always want to hear about Auburn, how special Auburn is, you know. Okay, so right now, the elephant in the room, you know, we're not winning many football games right now, right? And I know how important football is. I do. You know what Auburn's got going on up there right now? We have over 65,000 kids in this country trying to get 5,000 spots to go to school at what is one of the best universities in all of America. Because it's built on a foundation of loving God, loving country, loving your neighbor. It's all about that Auburn Creed. That's the most important thing we're doing. The championships in basketball, that's not the Final Four, that's great. Keep us entertained. We're the talk of our country. You know one of the reasons why these sites have a chance, a great chance, to attract an incredible employer and actually be in competition for the sites that you're building? Because they want their kids around your kids. They're tired of the nonsense and the craziness in some parts of our country. And they want to be neighbors of yours. Don't underestimate that when you're selling these sites. And the opportunity for the businesses to come. They want to be able to send their kids to an amazing church and hear an incredible pastor. And grow as a family. And grow as a community. That's what's going on in Auburn. That was what the secret sauce for us was as far as basketball was concerned. So raise the level of your expectations for yourself. Like you should be thinking, nobody should think more of Dothan than Dothan thinks of itself. And it's so easy to live in a community for a long time and go, oh, we don't have this, and we don't have that, and it's all this or whatever. Let me tell you something. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. That's the biggest thing I had to change in Auburn. Winning championships in basketball. It was for Kentucky. Maybe a great Tennessee team, Florida, when Billy Donovan was there, not telling God, no. Set the bar high. No man rises to low expectations. You got to work hard. Let me tell you something that oftentimes gets lost. And again, another thing that doesn't get talked about in the nation of sacrifice is being honest. When you are young, as a coach, when I'm honest with young people, when I make sure they understand this is not going to be easy now. Like I'm hard to play for. I'm going to expect things from you that you've never expected from yourself. I'm going to hold you accountable, and I'm going to reward you when you've earned it. And I'm not going to promise them more than I can deliver. When you lie to somebody, when you're dishonest, when you promise them more than you can deliver, especially a young person, you've lost them. And you lose somebody's trust. As a coach, when I can be honest with my players, don't make me right at all. I'm wrong. I'm wrong a lot. Just ask Brandy; she'll tell you how wrong I am. But being honest with each other, and particularly being honest with your young people, is one of the things that we've done to create that culture. You guys are all also in positions to hire. Okay? You want to judge me? Judge me by my wife. You better be okay with that. Billy, I done pretty good, didn't I? Billy Carroll, a friend from Smart Bank, who, by the way, got Brady and I here. And that was another call that I got. Was from the folks at Smart Bank. And when I got fired at Tennessee, I was winning. I'd gone to 6 straight NCAA tournaments, and couple of Sweet 16s and Elite 8, and I made some mistakes and I lost my job. And the folks that own Smart Bank that are right here in your community, the Carroll family, you would not know the difference between the way they treated me when I was head coach at Tennessee or the coach that got fired for making some mistakes at Tennessee. So that's a good group, a great company, and a great friend. Your staff. Who do you surround yourself with? Again, you want to judge me? Judge me by the company I keep. People ask the question, why now, coach? Why now? Gosh, the season's just right around the corner. You know, I mean, you still look like you got plenty of energy, plenty of gas in the tank. You can still be our coach. You know, why now? Part of the reason was to do that job, you got to work about 11 and a half months a year. And I, quite frankly, at almost 66, just got to the point where there were some other things that mattered to me. When I would get guys for 4 and 5 years, and you can coach them up and graduate and have that relationship, and you think about it again, each table, the amount of time that you guys work together, the sacrifices that you're making with one another to try to provide for your family, it's hard when you get to know somebody for just a year. But when you built something from wherever it was, and you know where it is and where it's going, that's when you build a culture. That's when you build your family, so on and so forth. So make great choices about who you hire. I got great fathers. I got great husbands. I got great teachers. I don't have recruiters. I don't have bagmen. I don't have people that are going to be out of town and run around with their wives. I just don't. I'm not going to have them on my staff. That don't make me better than anybody else. But I've got to make those kind of decisions. And I think God's blessed them. I truly do. Blessed beyond what we deserve. And so the issue was just time. More time for my family and a little bit more time with some other things. And maybe even a little bit more time, doing some stuff like this. And providing some advice and some counsel and some encouragement. But I'm kind of preaching to the choir. Y'all know what I'm talking about in here. And it's just unbelievable, the growth and the things that you guys are doing, the situation where you position yourself, and I just want to congratulate you. A couple more things. Stephen's got a tough job. He's following what we did, and many of you understand this. It's easier to get it going than it is to keep it going. It's easier to get your business started and get it going, up and running, profiting, doing well. Greatest challenge is, can you keep it going? We kept it going for a while, and the expectation of doing that was wearing on me a little bit also. The NIL, the transfer portal, all that stuff has made it more and more challenging. It's made it a little bit different. But this coaching staff, Stephen's been with me 11 years. Actually, he's been with me my whole life. But he's been my assistant here for 11 years. Ira Bowen's been 9 years. Mike Burgomaster, 9 years. Max Jeffries, 10 years. Damon Davis, 11 years. Ian Borders, 8 years. The list goes on. Our staff has been together. So I wasn't going to stop coaching at some point, allow Auburn to do a national search, go hire somebody else, and fire all the guys that brought us 5 championships, 51 graduates, and 2 Final Fours. So people say I set it up this way. No, I didn't. Had something in my eye. But I think in some ways that's kind of Auburn being Auburn. And so I'm really excited for him. They've got a great schedule, and they get an opportunity to continue to do it. They're going to continue to do it the right way. They're going to do it just like we did it. And they're young right now. They got years ago we looked at this team and God, they got a really nice young team. They're really going to be good in a year or two. We just don't look at it that way right now because it's all about what are you going to do today. Coach Reese is doing the same thing. He's got really good young talent. We're just sick of losing and tired of getting beat, but it's closer than ever. They've lost 4 games. The last 4 games could have won all 4, but for a couple of bad calls and a couple of different situations, we'd all be happy if they were 4-0, but they're close. And so I'm encouraging everybody to sort of hang in there and continue to do the work. So I get asked sometimes about, Coach, are you going to run for Senate? And we thought about it. We really, truly did. Because when you are in service, and Sam, you put it, you've accepted a position to serve. And that's going to take time away from your family and your business and other things. It's really true. You know, thank our military for their service. Thank our political leaders for their service. Pray that they've got integrity and pray that they're in it for the right reasons. But one thing I'll tell you as I examine the process, I'm an American. I love my country. My grandfather came to this country in 1929. He was 11 years old. He came with his 3 younger siblings. My Auntie Shirley, my Auntie Claire, and my Uncle Harold was an infant. Papa's family got on a boat. They came from Turnipole. He became a citizen when he was 32, 22 years later, and he told me it was the greatest day of his life. And he made sure that I understand that this country, the United States of America, saved these 4 children from the Holocaust, from the pogroms. The majority of my grandfather's family died and did not make the trip because they could only afford to send 4, and they sent the kids. Papa made sure I understand it. I love my country, I love my community, and I'm being truly grateful for the opportunities that exist. I'm grateful to be a Jewish American that can practice his faith freely in Auburn, Alabama. And while there have been roadblocks and while there have been obstacles, so on and so forth, this is a land of opportunity for everybody. It breaks my heart to see the rise in anti-Semitism. It breaks my heart to watch college students cheer on a terrorist organization that did so many terrible things. Don't believe the lies. There's not been a genocide. There's not been apartheid. There just hasn't. It's just not true. Look at your Bible. Look at your history books. And try to listen and learn from the people that are telling you the truth. The thing I'll close on is this about the opportunity for this community, is the opportunity was presented to myself. This past year in the Final Four, there were 3 Jewish basketball coaches. Todd Golden at Florida, John Shire at Duke, and Bruce Pearl at Auburn. Do not tell me this isn't the greatest country in the world, where no matter where you come from, no matter what race you are, no matter what religion you are, you work hard, you roll up your sleeves, this country is going to provide you with every single opportunity. I wish that for you. I wish that for the citizens of Dothan. God bless America. God bless this community. And thank you very much. I forgot one more thing. But this is a chamber event, right? All right, so listen, here's the deal. I am a 1% owner of Stone Martin Builders. Listen, we have got, and I got to read this, like in Dothan and Rehoboth, we've got a couple of Magnolia Trace, right? And Dothan, Chase Ridge and Rehoboth. Okay, we're building homes in the 200 to 500,000 range, starter homes for first-time buyers, right? This is a chamber deal. Come on, right? I mean, if you buy a piece of lumber that doesn't have a yellow tag on it, you're in trouble, right? War Eagle.
Has Ron Anders, he's my good buddy, has he ever given you a key to the city of Auburn? I hope not.
No, because I didn't win that check.
Oh, good. Well, I wanted to, on behalf of the City of Dothan and our commission, and everyone in this room, we just want to offer you our key to the city. Not only because you've been a great inspiration in coaching, but humanitarian in your love and your faith of God, our Father, and your love of our country, and your love of people and humanitarian all over this world. And so, for those reasons, we want to give you our key to the city. God bless you.
I'm going to keep this key in my van, so when I'm driving too fast for Dothan to get to the the beach. I must go show up the officer.
You get that call.
Give another round of applause for Coach Pearl.